The penthouse office gleamed with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Harrison Blake stood frozen in his doorway, staring at a scene of complete chaos. His twin daughters, 3-year-old Emma and Ava, were screaming at the top of their lungs, while his latest nanny, the 7th in 6 months, grabbed her bag and headed for the door. "I can't do this anymore," she said, not even looking at him. "Those children are impossible. They're manipulative, violent, and completely unmanageable. Good luck finding someone else." She brushed past him and was gone. Harrison looked at his daughters, who'd stopped screaming the moment the nanny left and were now smiling sweetly at each other like angels. This was their pattern. Terrorize every caregiver until the person quit, then act innocent. "Girls," Harrison said wearily. "Why did you do that?" "She was mean," Emma said. "She didn't sing right," Ava added. "She locked us in our room," they said together. Harrison didn't know if that was true or another manipulation. His daughters had become expert liars since their mother had died 18 months ago. They'd gone from happy toddlers to tiny tyrants who'd chased away every nanny, au pair, and babysitter he'd hired. He had a board meeting in an hour. He was CEO of Blake Industries, worth millions, and completely powerless against 2 3-year-olds. His assistant knocked tentatively. "Mr. Blake? I called the agency again. They said they're refusing to send anyone else. You're blacklisted." "Blacklisted by nanny agencies," Harrison muttered. That's a new low. He heard a cart in the hallway, the evening cleaning crew. An idea formed, desperate and probably inappropriate, but he was out of options. A woman appeared in the doorway, pushing a cleaning cart. She wore a simple uniform and had her hair pulled back, but what struck Harrison was how she looked at his daughters, not with fear or judgment, but with genuine compassion. "I'm sorry," she said. "I can come back later if you need privacy." "Wait," Harrison said. "Do you have experience with children?" The woman looked surprised. "I have a son. He's 5. Why?" "I need help. Desperately. My daughters have chased away every professional caregiver in the city. I have a meeting in an hour and no one to watch them. Could you? I know this is completely inappropriate, but would you consider staying with them? Just for 2 hours? I'll pay you whatever you want." The woman studied the twins, who were now watching this interaction with calculating eyes. "What are their names?" "Emma and Ava. They're 3. And they're difficult?" the woman supplied gently. "I understand difficult. My son has been through a lot, too. I'm Maria, by the way. Harrison Blake. And I'm genuinely desperate." Maria looked at the twins again, then made a decision. "Okay, 2 hours. But I'm not a nanny, I'm a janitor. I don't have credentials or training. I just have experience with hurt kids. Hurt kids? Kids who act out because they're in pain," Maria said quietly. "That's what I'm seeing here." Harrison felt something crack in his chest. No one had ever suggested his daughters were in pain, just that they were spoiled, manipulative, nightmares. Maria sat down on the floor right there in the office, at the twins' eye level. "Hi, Emma. Hi, Ava. I'm Maria. Your daddy needs to go to a meeting and I'm going to stay with you. We can play, or color, or talk. What sounds good?" The twins looked at each other, clearly plotting. Then Emma spoke. "We don't like you. Go away." "That's okay," Maria said calmly. "You don't have to like me. But I'm staying anyway because your daddy asked me to. And I keep my promises." Ava threw a toy at Maria. It hit her shoulder. Maria didn't flinch. "That hurt my feelings," Maria said. "When you throw things at people, it makes them sad. Is that what you wanted, to make me sad?" The twins looked confused. No adult had ever responded this way. "We want you to leave," Emma insisted. "I know, but I'm not leaving. Your daddy will be back in 2 hours. Until then, I'm here. You can be angry about that, or we can find something fun to do. Your choice." Harrison stood frozen, watching this janitor do what trained professionals couldn't: stay calm, set boundaries, and refuse to be manipulated. "I should go," he said. "Will you be okay?" "We'll figure it out," Maria said, still on the floor with the twins. Harrison left for his meeting, terrified and hopeful in equal measure. When he returned 2 hours later, he found something impossible. His daughters were asleep, actually peacefully asleep, curled up on either side of Maria, who was reading quietly from a children's book she'd apparently found somewhere. "What did you do?" Harrison whispered, amazed. "I stayed," Maria said simply. "They tested me for about 40 minutes, throwing things, screaming, hiding, refusing everything. I just stayed calm and consistent. Eventually, Emma started crying. Real crying, not tantrum crying. She said Mommy left and never came back. I realized they're not being difficult. They're terrified everyone will leave." Harrison felt tears in his eyes. Their mother died suddenly. Car accident. They were only 2. "I've been trying so hard to give them structure and care, but nothing works. Because structure isn't what they need. They need someone who won't leave, no matter how hard they push." Maria looked at the sleeping girls. They pushed hard. "But I didn't leave, so they finally felt safe enough to sleep." "How did you know what to do?" "My son acts out too. His father abandoned us before he was born. For a long time, he tested me constantly, trying to make me leave so he could be proved right that everyone abandons him. I had to learn to stay no matter what." Harrison sat down, overwhelmed. "Would you consider doing this full-time? I know you're a janitor and I'm asking you to be a nanny, but you did in 2 hours what trained professionals couldn't do in weeks. I'm not qualified. You're the only person who's ever gotten them to sleep without a fight. You're the only person who saw past their behavior to their pain. That's more qualified than any degree." Harrison paused. "I'll pay you 3 times what any agency wanted. You can bring your son here after school, please. My daughters need you." Maria looked at the sleeping twins. "Let me try for a week. If it works, we'll talk long-term." It worked. Maria understood what others hadn't. The twins weren't bad, they were grieving. She let them be angry, held boundaries without punishment, stayed when they pushed, and slowly, carefully, earned their trust. Harrison watched his daughters transform. They still had hard days, but Maria never gave up. She'd sit with them through tantrums, validate their feelings about missing their mother, and prove through consistency that she wouldn't abandon them. "You're a miracle worker," Harrison told her one evening. "Months into the arrangement, I'm not. I just understand that hurt children need patience, not perfection." Maria smiled. "Your daughters are healing. It's slow, but it's happening." Harrison fell for Maria gradually, watching how she mothered his children, how she balanced firmness with compassion, how she saw value in people others dismissed. She was a janitor who'd become essential to his family. "I love you," he admitted one evening after the girls were asleep. "I know that's inappropriate. You work for me, we're from different worlds, but I can't help it. You saved my daughters. You saw past their behavior when everyone else gave up." "I love you too," Maria said softly. "But I need you to know I didn't do this for you. I did it for them. They deserved someone who wouldn't quit on them. That's exactly why I love you." They married a year later, Maria officially adopting the twins. At the wedding, Harrison gave a speech that made everyone cry. 13 nannies quit because they couldn't handle my daughters, Harrison said. Agencies blacklisted me. Professionals told me my children were impossible. Then a janitor, a single mother with no credentials but infinite patience, did what everyone else said couldn't be done. She stayed. Through tantrums and tests and tears, she stayed. She saw hurt children, not bad ones. She proved that love isn't about qualifications. It's about commitment. The twins, now 5, gave their own speech, carefully rehearsed with Maria. "We were mean to Maria at first," Emma admitted. "We wanted her to leave like everyone else." "But she didn't leave," Ava continued. "She stayed and stayed and stayed, until we believed she was real. Now she's our mommy forever." They finished together. Years later, when people asked Harrison how he'd managed with impossible twins, he'd tell them about Maria. No one could handle them, he'd explain. Every trained professional quit. Then a janitor with a kind heart and a hurt child of her own showed my daughters what they needed. Not someone who'd control them, but someone who'd understand them. She didn't see impossible children. She saw grieving ones. That changed everything, because sometimes the person with the fewest credentials has the most wisdom. Sometimes impossible children just need someone who won't quit. And sometimes the janitor cleaning your office is exactly the person your family needs, not despite her humble position. but because of the humility and empathy that comes from understanding struggle. If this moved you, share and subscribe for more stories about the value hidden in unexpected places. Comment about someone dismissed by others who changed your life. Those people are proof that worth isn't measured by credentials.